Hey guys, how you doing? You here for the open house? Come on in, I'll give you a tour of health sciences. All right, so welcome to the classroom. As you can see, we've got a relatively large room here. Obviously the chairs are up because unfortunately we don't have kids in here right now.
No, this video is old.
This side of the room, under normal circumstances, can seat over 50 students. First years get lockers that they can keep their stuff in. Hopefully that's going to happen sooner than later. Over here we've got our office space. Oh look, it's Mrs. Wilson.
Hi, welcome.
And there's Miss E.
Hello.
So over this way we have our lab. The way we're currently set up, we have 5 hospital beds. There's 3 over on this side. There's an athletic training table for our sports med students, stretchers, EKG carts, different patient setups for stations, including a hand washing station. Over here we've got our wheelchairs, some different mannequins that we use along the way. And as you can see over on this side, we've also got a second smaller classroom that can seat an additional 30 students. So between our 2 classrooms, we have normal capacity for around 80 students. Under normal circumstances, we usually don't have more than 50 in here. So even when we do that, we'll be able to keep them separated out safely for social distancing. We've also got 2 carts with 60 Chromebooks in there. So your students do not need to bring their own technology. We provide it for them. In fact, we actually prefer that they use our stuff as opposed to their own.
So one of the biggest changes is our staff. You saw in the video, Miss E, she's no longer working with us. We now have Ms. Majewski, and we'll meet her in a moment. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and we'll kind of pass it around, and we'll go from there. I'm Mr. Bonner. I am one of the 3 instructional staff here. And my background, I've been here for, this is my 10th year. It's my 14th year in teaching. Prior to this, I worked in Livonia for 4 years as a sports medicine instructor there. And then for 15 years before that, I was in the fitness and physical therapy industry. So my undergrad background is health and fitness from Central Michigan. Did a master's in exercise science from Oakland University. And I did my second master's in education from Concordia University. I've been teaching now for almost as long as I've been in the fitness industry, and I love it. I love what we do here. We've got a lot of great options for pretty much everybody. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Wilson. She can go next.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for joining us. As mentioned before, there's a sign in the chat. So if you can get signed in, that'd be great. I have been at Oakland Schools. This is my 4th year of teaching this content for Oakland Schools, but my 13th year of teaching overall this content. Prior to that, I was a labor and delivery nurse for about 18 years. And then I did some nursing on some other floors prior to transferring to labor and delivery. I have 4 kids, grown adults, husband, 2 dogs, and a lot of technical difficulties, which is why I'm on my phone right now. So I apologize for that. Ms. Majewski, you are up.
Hi, I am Mrs. Majewski. I am the instructor here in health sciences. This is my first year here. I was a master's in education, and I was an elementary teacher, and I have made the move here to health sciences.
So as you can kind of tell from our background, we've got a really diverse background, over 30 years in the classroom, and a lot of time outside the classroom working in industry. And one of the big things that we really feel is that if your goal is to pursue a career in health sciences or to learn more about careers in health sciences, this is absolutely the right place for you. So I'm going to get started here with this little presentation. So in general, this is a 1-year program. You come here for half your day for the entire year, and it's geared towards being an introduction to careers and responsibilities and the skills of a variety of medical and healthcare careers. A lot of people think, they get a narrow scope of what the medical field really is, when there's literally hundreds of possible jobs and different options to work within the field. What we focus on in year 1 is anatomy and physiology. A lot of people don't realize this, but you can actually earn a science credit along with your regular credit in this class. So we teach anatomy as part of our year-long process. We dive deep into medical terminology, We do a lot of different emergency and non-emergency injury and medical condition assessment. We get into law and ethics, infection control, safety. Our students in the first year have the opportunity to earn certifications in CPR, first aid, and bloodborne pathogens, with more certifications possible in the second year. We do a lot of skill work, ranging anywhere from learning how to do vital signs to bleeding wounds, broken bones, wheelchairs, stretchers, how to walk with crutches and canes. And I'm scratching the surface. There's so many skills that kind of lose track of what we do with the skills, because it's a big part of our everyday program. We spend time on team building. If you're going to work in the medical field, you have to be able to work as part of a team. We do a unit on employability skills, so how to interview, how to create a resume, how to build a portfolio. In the first year of the program, we do a paper resume, digital as well, but we work on the actual printable side. If people decide to come back for the second year program, they actually create a whole digital portfolio as well, and get involved with LinkedIn and some other options. We do a lot of career exploration. What are my options? Where can I go? What does it take to get there? And that's one of the big things. A lot of people don't realize, there's a lot of great jobs in the medical field. Some of those jobs require a few months of training, whereas others require over a decade of training, depending on which way you're going to go. We can kind of help you find out those options and, what doors are open to you and, where should I go to do this? We spend a lot of time on medical math. I know it's everybody's favorite, but this is like real math, addition, subtraction, division, fractions, decimal points, ratios, proportions. It's not that weird stuff where there's spelling involved in your math. I can't do that. We get history of medicine, communication, and then we also do some health maintenance and healthy lifestyle related stuff. One of the unique things about this program that's different from regular classes is the work-based learning option. We're really excited that we're able to reopen our partnership with St. Joe's. And hopefully as early as next month, we're going to have students going back to Job Shadow at St. Joe's on Friday for our first year students. But right now we have 30 plus second year students, and only, I think, 4 are currently not out at a work-based learning site for this year. And those are for various reasons. It's a big part of what we do with the program, being able to go to St. Joe's in the first year to Job Shadow. We go every Friday. From usually the end of October until the beginning of April. That has been on hold though since March. Actually, I can tell you exactly, since March 13th of 2020, and we're lucky that we're going to get to go back really soon. To be able to go to St. Joe's, there are some requirements, and many of these requirements carry over into the work-based learning spots in the second year as well. They need an annual negative TB. These first 4 come from St. Joe's. These do not come from Oakland schools. These are the St. Joe's requirements, and we have no say in these. Must have a negative TB test every year. Have to show that they've started the hepatitis B vaccine process. And most of you probably got that when you were infants, because that's when you normally get it. You need to get an annual flu vaccine, and we do finally have the answer to this. St. Joe's is currently requiring students to be COVID vaccinated. We do realize for some people that is a deal breaker. And the thing to understand about the hospital and the Job Shadow process, it is optional. It is not mandatory. Students who are not able to qualify, for any of those reasons are not penalized in any way. They just simply can't do the work-based learning part in the first year. Other requirements, these are our requirements. We feel you need to maintain at least a 70% average in your coursework. And our feeling is if you can't maintain a C- in the class, you can't afford to miss class for an entire Friday to go to the hospital. You need to be in class working on your grades. We use something called MTAs, the Michigan Talent Architecture. And where this came from is we got together with our business advisory panel as a school, as a district. We have 4 of these campuses. And we asked them, what do you want to see in a prospective employee? And what they've told us is we want someone, we know that the students who come out of these programs are going to be good at what they do, whether that be out of the health sciences or culinary or, agri-science or construction, whatever. We know you send people with skills, but we want someone in addition to that who's going to be on time, there every day, show up to work with a good attitude, do what's expected of them, and basically, be a good worker. So we've incorporated that into our daily process of our classes. And we look at, are you here every day with a good attitude, ready to work on time, and you're not doing dumb stuff in class? That's 30% of your grade. And we feel, again, someone needs to get at least 80% of those. So you need to be here putting in the work. This next one, obviously this year has been a little bit different. No more than 5 absences per semester, because we realize the reality is, right now, or at least up until recently, the way the rules were written, if you sit by the wrong person at lunch and they call you a close contact, you could be out of school for 2 weeks, and you shouldn't be penalized for something like that. We have no idea what the COVID restrictions are going to be come fall. But we know that, we've had to be a little different about our attendance policy. What we look at, in all honesty, is not, is it a finite number of absences, but, is this person out because they have a pre-existing condition? Is this person out because, again, they got COVID, whatever? Or is this person out because every single Thursday when there's a quiz, they seem to pop up absent that day? Because they didn't have their homework done, or they weren't ready for the quiz. That's more what we look at it as far as attendance from a quantitative standpoint. We are involved with an organization called the Health Occupation Students of America, or HOSA. It's a big part of what we do in our program. It is an optional program within our program, but we're big proponents of it. It offers students opportunity to compete against students from other local, state, and even international organizations or schools. These events range anywhere from skills competitions to knowledge-based tests, presentations, creating posters, writing a paper, doing a speech, quiz bowl style stuff. There's a lot of different options. Again, it's something that you can choose whether or not you wish to participate, but we highly recommend it. In 2021, back in December, we had our regional competition. It was held virtually. And we had 28 students from the Northwest campus who competed, and they were in 12 different events. And of those 28, 24 of them placed high enough to qualify for the state competition. And of those 24, 10 of them won medals for finishing in the top 3 in their events. Under normal circumstances, that would qualify them to compete at the state conference in February. But for COVID reasons right now, we are not going to be competing in February, unfortunately. At last year's competition, we also had 24 students qualify for states. And of those 24, 8 of them made the stage because they finished in the top 8 in their event. And one of them won a medal while she was there, and she qualified for the international conference, which was also held virtually. So unfortunately, we haven't had a live in-person HOSA event since March of 2020, but that is changing. Things are thankfully, at least we hope, going in the right direction, I hope. Just some basic pictures. This is one of our last big group shots that we ever took. This was at the regional competition in 2020. Back in the good old days when you could put 1,000 people in a facility and stick them all in the same gym and take pictures and laugh and have fun. So this was some of our people who were qualifying. This is a shot from the HOSA state competition in March of 2020, where that it's kind of misleading with that picture. That room would actually, by the time the conference started, there were over 3,000 people in that room. Just some more pictures from HOSA states and some of the students submitted. This one is from states in 2019. Some of our medalists who qualified for the international competition. And then so some video or some other things we do. We try, at least when we're able to go to a place called Base Camp. Base Camp's up in Genesee County, up near Flint. And it's a high and low ropes course, challenge course, do a lot of team building stuff there. We've gone there almost every year. We are hoping to get back there this spring, depending on the number of people that they'll allow for us to bring in. We also normally have guest speakers coming in from Baker College, Lawrence Tech, or not Lawrence Tech, Lake Superior State, Davenport, and OCC, and a lot of different schools. And we're affiliated with a lot of schools where you can actually earn college credit as part of your time here. We do student appreciation days. We've already done, in the fall, we did appreciation day where we did cider and donuts, little things just to kind of say, thank you to you guys for being in our class, something we kind of do school wide. We also do clothing, and for our class and for our HOSA, we have students design the logos, and then we get them printed up and do class t-shirts. Just some action shots from in the class. One of the skills we did early in the year was splinting a broken bone, how to appropriately transport a patient in and out of a wheelchair, and then actually how to wheel them around. This is something we did not get last year. We have an actual class picture. So this is our AM class. These are all first years. I think there's about 50 of them in that picture. So that's the AM class. Unfortunately, we did not get a picture of the PM class because by the time they came in and did their pictures that day, it was pouring rain outside, so we couldn't get them. And now it's too cold. So pretend this is this year's class. Is actually the 2019-20 group picture from the PM group there. Some shots from base camp. Now you may look at that and say, there's no way I'm going out on one of those cables. That's fine. You don't have to. Our goal is you go one step farther than you think you can go. So if your max ability is to put your foot out on that platform, great. Or if you're like that person at the top left who's jumping out onto the net and going across, whatever is good for you. Just challenge yourself is kind of our feeling. We're involved with an organization called the National Technical Honor Society. NTHS is basically like National Honor Society, but it's for students who are in national technical programs like our health science program or other programs here in the building. Health sciences year in and year out has the biggest group. It's also because we have the best students. We generally get the best kids in the building. We don't expect future years to be any different, but it's also because they put in a lot of work and they do what's expected of them, and they're successful, and that's what we're shooting for. That's what we view as a success, is you being successful. To qualify, you need to have a 3.3 GPA here in this program. You need to have a specific GPA at your home school, and you can't have more than 5 absences in a semester. And then you need teacher requirement. But if you meet those first 3, you're going to get a teacher recommendation. We also do the Dean's List. So what the Dean's List does is those same requirements, but it takes out the homeschool GPA. So if you're someone who maybe doesn't have a high GPA at your homeschool, that's fine. We had a conversation about this earlier today. I'll gladly take a kid who doesn't have perfect grades, but has the attitude and the desire. If you have someone who wants to put in the work and wants to learn and wants to show up every day, I don't care if you're a 4.0 or a 2.0. If you got that going for you, we can do a lot while you're here. And one of our greatest success stories all time is a student who came in, and she first day she kind of said she's not a great student normally. By the time she left here, she had gotten 4 straight semesters of 4.0 GPA here at this building. She qualified for HOSA internationals twice. She was a top. She finished 4th in the nation her senior year. She got hired by St. Joe's while she was a junior in high school. She got certified as a patient care technician. She was picked as one of the top students in all of Oakland County for career tech ed. Just an absolute success story for someone who was not a great student coming in, but she really turned into a great example of what we're all about here. And this page doesn't particularly apply to you guys right now. This is really more if you decide you're going to come here when you get here in the fall. We'll go over this kind of stuff. And then lastly, we didn't do it this year, but in future years, we're hopefully going to get back to doing our Yankee Candle fundraisers.